I recall my first attempts to prepare compositions were guided by my teachers who instructed penmanship, clarity, and content into the words I wrote. I definitely was not the best author in my class, and my word choices left some substantial room for improvement. In those days, I was more attuned to my studies in math. I formed a special relationship with the abacus my grandfather used to teach me the fundamentals of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. This was during the foundational days of analog teaching methods, and I was an analog learner. This is where I discovered the fluidity of mathematics. My father built on this to teach me another level of mathematical learning as he slid a 6-part slide rule to me with instructions to calculate fuel mileage our truck experienced. In my classes, I could use a sharp pencil to scribble formulas and crunch numbers by hand. Then, somewhere around 1979, the Texas Instruments hand calculator TI-30 was introduced. The unit was a major game changer for those who needed to calculate complex formulas to complete statistical analyses. They were also insanely expensive in those days. However, math reports were still written by hand. Eventually, we used typewriters to prepare the reports, but the complex mathematical formulas were still scripted by hand. It seems that in the last 40 years, our technologies have shot us into the future where we can put not only the reports into completely digital documents, but computer programs can calculate the complex numeric arrays through statistical and nonlinear optimization arrangements. In this video, we will glide into a process of presenting your mathematical work alongside your tables and figures, citations and written prose to make it understandable and presentable. You can make your formulas look clear and digitally integrated into your document's flow and style. Word will not do your math in this interface. That is up to you using your number 2 pencil and maybe your spreadsheet or other program of choice. I still keep a TI-30 hand calculator available at all times, but that is just me. It is all part of your personal presentation style. The action portal of formulas in MS Word resides at the Insert ribbon, far right side Symbols panel, with the equation drop-down chevron. When you enter this door, a new tool appears over top of the accessible ribbons called simply Equation Tools. You see an entirely new ribbon. Access appears only when you have an equation actively being edited, with a new ribbon anchor point to the right of the top GUI interface. In this environment, it is important to know about different names for information you type. In a normal word processing environment, we are typing in text mode. While typing within this mathematical environment, you are said to be in math mode. This is more than a state of mind. It has some differences you need to know about. First, most spaces and line breaks do not have any significance, as all spaces are either derived logically from the mathematical expressions or have to be specified by commands in the word math environment. It is recognized by the backslash and command text. Next, in the math mode, empty lines are not allowed. There is only one paragraph per formula. Finally, each letter is the name of a variable and is typeset as such. If you want to typeset normal text within a formula, something with normal upright font and normal spacing, then you have to enter the text editing dedicated commands. This leads you to know about Unicode, LaTeX math, and non-math formats. The latter is simple as you know this format as you type a normal Word document. Unicode is a universal encoding standard. It defines the way individual characters are represented in text files, web pages, and other types of documents. This enables your typed letters to be recognized by electronic devices in any language, or when using any operating system. Unlike ASCII, which was designed to represent only basic English characters, Unicode was designed to support characters from all languages around the world. Enter the Word Math interface by placing the cursor where you want the formula to appear. Hold down the Alt key and touch Equal. A formula input shield appears. While typing a formula, you can be in Unicode format by starting your command with the backslash character, then following it with a command like \sum, and you see the Greek summation symbol appear. LaTeX is a document preparation system for high-quality typesetting. It is most often used for medium to large technical or scientific documents, but it can be used for almost any form of publishing. LaTeX is not a word processor. Instead, LaTeX encourages authors not to worry too much about the appearance of their documents, but to concentrate on getting the right content. LaTeX gives authors the ability to make their formulas perfect in appearance. This is what Word is enabling for you. As you enter this new arena, see the ribbons specific to this interface. On the left side is the Tools interchange, where you see the Equations button giving you access to use common formula in your document. You can select the formula to specify the area of a circle, binomial theorem, expansion of a sum, Fourier series, Pythagorean theorem, or even the quadratic formula. These are all canned in the program and ready for your use. A convenient application comes when you insert one of these and then modify it to suit your purposes. You might change a variable from x to y or from k to n. These are all set for your uses. None of these are locked. You can also store one of your formula in this list. You script the formula using your variable letters, subscript identifiers, and other machinations. Then save it in your frequently used interface. With that formula selected on screen, access this portal, pull down on the equation icon, scroll to the bottom of the list and select Save Selection to Equation Gallery. Give it the name you know, and it is ready for your uses each time you access this interface in Word. We'll come back to this option soon. Professional and linear formats are terms you will see in the Conversions panel interface. This formatting option will allow you to choose how you want your equation to be mathematically represented in your documents. You have two options in Microsoft Word, professional or linear. X squared can be shown with superscript 2 or as x caret 2. The former is professional while the latter is linear. Professional is the default format. If you would like to change the format to linear, click on the downward-facing chevron at the bottom right corner of the equation. Click on the linear option. Now you are done creating a linear formatted equation. If you then decide to change it back to professional, or if the equation you have is in a linear format, repeat these steps and then click professional. At the Symbols panel, you see the characters specific to mathematics. Select these to occupy the appropriate locations in your formulas. Another step to the right takes you into the Structures panel. This is not only the images of those functions, scripts, and operators, it is where your variables, multipliers, and structures are applied. This is the home run arena where your formulas take their form. This is where we will do a small amount of example to set you loose on your experimentation. We step into an article I prepared, integrating forest product commodity prices and economic analyses into a module that predicts delivered log prices into the future. This article required the document mechanics you have already seen in this video series to be met with the equation tools we discuss now. The approach displayed in this formula takes action with fractions and the radical of a constant. Building this formula requires introduction of a few important steps. Prepare a formula like this by starting on the left and building to the right. The PF variable has both a superscript and a subscript. For this, go to the Structures panel, Scripts icon. Click to see the options, and we need the image showing both super and subscript openings. I select this option and can fill it for the variable identifier with superscript of $sign and subscript of T. This stands for price forecast expressed in dollars at monthly time mark T. This equals another superscript variable, IP, with superscript $sign, subscript NM, which represents the month and year of the commodity's real initiation price. This value is multiplied to the sum of a complex interaction. In this interface, we build the formula from the outside in. We need to select from the Equations Tools ribbon Structures panel, bracket, click reveals several options. I select. This places that bracket around the new selection box. This is the outside to in approach I mentioned. Now select that action box to type the number 1 and select from the symbols panel the plus sign. In this instance, you can type the plus sign from the keyboard or use the symbol from the panel. Now we enter another bracket from the structures panel. This is the second bracket level and we need another. Select it from the bracket interface. This bracket contains a skewed fraction of the variable RPA per year. Exit the bracket and show the multiplication symbol times. A different approach used by people who do these often and seek a faster way through their scripting tasks. Use a command approach. With a cursor after RPA, I type backslash times. No spaces between them. Then I enter 1 space and the display puts the multiplication symbol in place. That is fast, and as you do these formula, you will remember these shortcut tools. Now we keep building. RPA is multiplied by the variable t times the constant 2. But the number 2 has an exponent, so we need to remember our outside-in approach and remove the number at this step. Select from the script menu the exponent. At its base place the number 2. The exponent is another complex interaction bound by new brackets. It starts with the number 1 minus a fraction with another set of brackets. Select the fraction. In this case, I selected the skewed fraction option. In the numerator position, place the variable t. In the denominator resides the variable lnv times the natural log of 2. Here, place lnv from the keyboard. Type without a space backslash times space. To the structures panel, limit and log label to find the natural logarithm option. Select it and enter into the active box the number 2 from the keyboard. Remember that discussion about linear and professional equations? Take your mouse to the lower right side chevron of this equation and click. We are viewing this in the professional mode, so select the linear option. This is what the formula looks like in that format. If I were doing this from my typewriter, this is how it would look. Does anyone have a typewriter anymore? Okay, change it back to professional. Remember I mentioned that you can save your selection to Equations Gallery? Select the lower right chevron of this formula again and select Save as New Equation. It prompts you for a name, the gallery and category you want to place this in. You can describe it and click OK. Now if you want to use it again, after all that is why you placed it here, you will get back to the Insert ribbon and select Equation Symbols to open the Super ribbon of Equation Tools. Far left, select the Tools panel and Equations action icon. The menu that appears has the familiar stored equations, so scroll to the bottom of this list and see the new category you entered, Log Markets, RPA Forecast Tool. Select that option and the formula you stored appears, ready for you to use again. This puts the formula into your document, but word mechanics requires you to take several more steps to make this part of your professional Word document. The first step is to put definitions for all the variables immediately below your formula. I generally use the declaratory statement of where below the formula. Then I enter the variables as indented lines, each at ½ inch, with the variable name, the equal sign, then the definition in clear and concise terms. After I get these set, I select the formula line through the definitions, all except the last variable definition. Take the mouse to the Home ribbon, select the Paragraph panel, choose the second tab, and click the radio box for Keep with Next. This makes the formula and the variable definitions all on the same page. No page breaks to separate them. That is one of those housekeeping tasks used to keep your content streamlined. Now we take a step back into the style sheet discussions to place a label for the formulas into the document you write. For this procedure, we will not make the formula entered as a style. It is a label. I want the formula we use to appear in numbered sequence. Place the cursor in a blank paragraph immediately above the formula and type the label you want to use for this formula. Now take the mouse to the Home ribbon, Styles panel. Click the lower right chevron to open all styles. Select one of the unused styles from heading 7 through 9. In this case, I have used heading 7. Right-click on the heading to select Modify. By now, you can change the font type, size, color, and simple settings from this point. To the lower left corner, select the Format box and start with the Numbering option. This opens the Numbering and Bullets action box, and we select the Define New Number format. Set the numbering style. Place the word Formula space in the applet box before the number it shows here. This makes the consecutive numbering of all paragraphs where you assign this style sheet. Click OK on this applet, and again. This takes us back to the initial screen with the Modify Style box open. To the Format action point, click and select the Paragraph option. Click the second right side tab, find and select the Keep with Next radial box. You need this label to always appear on the same page as the formula it defines. Click OK. In this case, we have the label kept with the formula, and then the variable definitions all kept with the formula. That is good form, and you will be pleased with these results. Set it, and don't worry. One more format label alteration. Select Borders. Click on the top of the paragraph image on the right side of the applet. This places a horizontal line above the label for each formula. Click it, make them all go away. Now this is almost ready for prime time. You will want to put your document structure, the table of contents, list of figures, list of tables, and now we make the list of equations. We have been here before, so you can get ahead of me already. Take your mouse to the position where you want your list of equations to appear. Type List of Equations and make it style heading 2. Then touch Enter. Cursor on the empty paragraph line, take your mouse to the References ribbon, far left side click on the Table of Contents downward facing chevron, select Custom Table of Contents. Deselect the Web Preview Hyperlinks radial box. Click on the Options hyperbox. This opens the Table of Contents Options applet where you scroll through this list to find heading 1, 2, and 3 on the left panel as you delete these numbers from the right column. Scroll to the heading number selected for your formulas and enter the number 1 or 2. Click OK on this applet, and again on the next one. Now your list of formulas are entered with labels and page numbers. Remember, each time you enter a new formula and apply this style sheet to this label, your list of formulas will update on command. We have only scratched the surface of the great possibilities available through the Equations Manager in MS Word. When you get into this interface more and more, you will discover possibilities to extend your reach to higher levels of professional document preparations while using mathematics. Those typewritten backslash and command combinations can be used to streamline your document preparations. Many LaTeX and linear data entry point videos are available in YouTube. This video only introduces viewers to the possibilities available through this well-known word processing program. More journeys into these formats can be ported into other programs beyond Microsoft interfaces. It is applied broadly. In the next video, we glide through the Reference Manager feature of MS Word to refer readers to the figures, tables, or formulas as you define what they mean. No more telling the reader to look at the table below, or rhetorically asking the reader to find the image you write about. You're giving these numbered labels, and in Word, you can make your references specifically tied to the event you describe. This builds reader clarity to your prose while establishing a rapid organization for you and your readers to enjoy.